Okay, so here it goes. I don't really know what to do off rip. All I know is that I've been angry for a very long time and I don't really know how to handle it. And I guess I've never really known how to handle it. And I'm not even sure where it really even all stems from. Because I can think of so many scenarios in my life where I could have not exploded so much. I could have just thought about it before I reacted. And it just seems more often than not, I don't think about it. And I'm not even sure why. But I've come to a conclusion slightly, and I guess that's why I want to talk about it today. This is the Mental Health Gamer. I play Minecraft, Red Dead 2, Gmod, all sorts of games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, but you're not really here for that, are you? I think I have always been angry, and I think men nowadays are angry as well. I'm not sure if I'm speaking for all men. I just think that the majority of men are angry. And I am the same way. I'm 25. I just turned 25 yesterday. And I think my anger has only gotten worse throughout the years. It's not as explosive as it once was, I'll say that. But now it's just agitation. Since I've become a father, my patience has been tested, if that makes any sense. It's made it worse and better at the same time, and I don't exactly know how to handle that. Because you want to be good for your fiance, girlfriend, partner, and your son, daughter, whatever, your family. You want to be good, you want to be level headed and everything like that, but here lately, I kind of haven't been. I've been kind of letting them down and letting myself down. I just think the anger that's been building up in me has been building up in a lot of my friends too. Like my friends I grew up with, you know. My best friend, he's the same way. We're a lot alike. And just people I know, guys I know, we're more angry, I feel like. And I didn't think that was the case until I actually started doing a bunch of research. Why are men so hopeless and angry? Why are we so down to the bottom of things where it's just, I don't, we're pretty much just downright not the same anymore. We kind of lost that thing in ourselves that used to give us power. We all feel weak and insecure nowadays. I guess. I don't know. I'm probably just a fool blabbering and yapping, but so why are men so angry these days? I've come to a few conclusions and it may make sense to you, it may not make sense to you. It might even give you some solace and might make things better. It made things better for me. I think with technology nowadays, I think life has become more complicated and I think that's just naturally irritable or making a lot of dudes irritable because back in the day, you work on your land, farm, ranch, garden, go home, do it again. It evolved, work in the factory, still work in the factory. Now your life is consumed by phones and computers, and honestly, it's things that we weren't really meant to have in our possession, I don't think. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying there are things that I think men should not have been able to have. And I think technology is one of them. I think life was a lot simpler when we didn't have it. I love it though. I mean, that's the way I'm making this video. I guess when I say technology, I think part of it's technology. I think most of it's social media though. I think social media sets standards for dudes, and if you're not meeting those standards, if you're not making six figures, then this girl won't like you, or you're less than somebody. And I just think we've all been put in this place where we have to reach something that's so hard to get. And if we don't get it, our lives have less meaning than others, which I do not subscribe to that anymore because I've kind of realized, and it's helped my anger out a lot too, is that and with me having my kid and my fiance, wherever you are at right now is where you're meant to be, and wherever you're going is where you're gonna be. I think it doesn't really matter what you got going on, it's where you're gonna be heading to. And that made me a less angry person, realizing, you know what, I just need to be okay with where I'm at right now and trust the process and trust that I'm just going to keep on moving forward and I'll reach my goals one day. I think the anger used to come from me thinking I'd never reach my goals and seeing all these people on social media with their super six pack abs and their cars full of the garage full of cars and the girls on the beaches and stuff. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, and I think everything's not so black and white like that. Good for them that they're in that point in their lives, but I've kind of stopped viewing myself as somebody who's striving to get there. I'm just striving to live the best life I can. And I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it made sense to me. Another reason I think we might be so angry nowadays is because of just the pressures of life in general. I think the pressures of life have become more, with the lack of better words, more dire, more I gotta go get this, I gotta go get that. I mean, it kind of plays into what I was saying before, but also I just think the pressure's higher now. Because back then, guys, we just had to bring home bread, food, everything like that, like I was saying earlier. But now, I think the expectations are set to a point where I think men are just losing hope. I think a lack of hope is now something that's pretty prominent. Um, Listen, if you don't have any hope, you're gonna be an angry person. And it's just one of those things that kind of go hand in hand. Like I've been pretty hopeless before. I'm not gonna go into it too deep in this video, but I've been pretty hopeless before. And I will say this, it's a pretty shitty feeling. And being irritable and angry all the time kind of goes hand in hand with being hopeless. So I think a way to help get rid of your anger is to try and get hope again. And that could be hope within a new job, hope within a new hobby, hope within a new relationship. Just something that'll kind of get you out of that mindset of there's not even a point of me even trying anymore. And I'm not trying to preach to the choir too much because I've been super hopeless. I still get hopeless sometimes because, I've been through a lot the past couple years. But I think as long as you hold on to a little bit of hope, your anger kind of goes down a bit. And, we want the anger to go down. So, yeah. Probably one of the biggest things for anger, especially in dudes, is feeling weak. Listen, man, unless you're a weird guy or you've got some type of weird kink, not a lot of dudes want to feel weak. And as somebody who's been through some trauma where I've been pretty demeaned and felt very weak before, I had a very abusive father in both ways. He was emotionally and physically abusive, so I know what it's like to be weak. And I think I just, being a dude with testosterone, you don't want to feel like that. You want to feel strong. So I guess past situations, past trauma where you've kind of been put in a situation where you felt weak, I think later on in life, you can call it PTSD, trauma, whatever it is. Either way, if you don't go to therapy and kind of get that handled a little bit, of course you're going to be an angry person. A lot of things with my trauma was like, with my dad, but also with my whole entire situation, even with my mom a little bit. I was mostly raised by my grandma, so there's just all sorts of complicated feelings going on there, which understandably would make somebody angry. So, kind of acknowledging it in that way kind of lessens it, I would say, or at least for me, acknowledging the fact that, yeah, that was pretty messed up. What happened was pretty messed up. I should probably get that checked out, or just simply acknowledge it, and maybe things will get better after that. And it did. I'm not as angry as I once was, so it worked. I think finding a purpose helped too. I think my purpose is my family, 100%. Maybe even making these videos could be a part of that purpose. I just think when a dude or somebody in general, I mean, I keep on saying a dude, but I guess it goes for anybody. If somebody does not have a purpose, they kind of just don't know what they're doing, I would assume. And when somebody doesn't know what they're doing, of course, they're going to be irritable and they're not going to be happy with what's going on in life. So I assume having a purpose, which has helped me, having a purpose will help you in general be a less angry person. It certainly helped me. And I don't want to sound like I'm the know-all be-all of human psychology or something like that, because I'm definitely not. I'm a basket case myself. I have got a lot of issues, and I'm constantly going through the ebbs and flows every single day. I guess that's another thing I can point out. Go ahead and start accepting the ebbs and flows, because they're going to be there no matter what. Like, if you got trauma, you're just going to have to go through the ups and the downs throughout the day, and just acceptance is probably the best thing for it, because if you just try to deny and push it away, you're going to be angrier, more angry, if that makes any sense. So you kind of just have to accept it. I know I'm yapping right now, and this video is probably all over the place, but I hope I'm actually getting my point across. I hope that this is kind of making sense, because I'm trying to make sense of it in the moment while I'm talking about it. And at points in the video, it doesn't make sense, and then I'll come back around and be like, oh wait, it does make sense. So I'm not sure, but yeah, just accept what you have, accept your anger. And I think accepting your anger, and I also even think accepting your sadness is kind of good too, because if you accept it, I just feel like you're able to work through it better at that point, because denying something, denying a hard truth is just inevitable of being a false living state, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I don't know why I'm making this video. Maybe I'm the fool. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe all the things I've mentioned in this video are kind of ridiculous and won't help anybody. But all I can say is that some of these things kind of helped me, so it might be able to help somebody else. So, yeah, if you have any thoughts, let me know down below. How do you handle your anger? Is it different than the way I do it? Is it better than the way I do it? I want to know, because we're all in this world together. We all want to live the best lives, so why don't we all come together and help each other out? Just makes sense to me. But I'm going to get off here, go to bed. Y'all take care, subscribe, like the video. Peace.